Hey guys, it's Eric. I know that a lot of you have had questions about this fasting thing and about running long distances while fasting, so I thought I'd take just a couple minutes at the end of a gorgeous run and talk about both of them. For starters, this is something that I've been working on for like 12 years, both running, and then fasting has actually been 8 years. So I'm going to talk about some things that might be a little bit mind-bending at first, so understand that both of these things are skills, and for me it's just something that I've been working on for a while and I find them very beneficial. So last week I wrapped up a 13-day fast, and then on day 12 I ran 15 miles. So that was a ton of fun, and I think that's the main point. A lot of people ask the question, well, like, why do you do that? And for me, it's a couple things, really two main things. Number one is, in both instances, fasting and long distance running, I just feel great. I just love it. So that's not something that I expect anyone to feel great on or to love the very first time they do it. I mean, if you've been sitting on the couch or not, running, and you run out and run 15 miles, you're probably not going to feel great. Likewise, the first time that you fast or do some sort of a purification cleanse, it can be a little bit challenging. So I'll get to the how in just a minute, but for starters, I just feel great when I do it. And then the second reason that I do it is because for me, both of them are great. They're almost like metaphors to like my belief about what's possible. So I know that most people, myself included, navigate through their day having the thought that, oh, I need food, oh, I need to eat. Or when it comes to running, you go to run and you run 6 miles or 8 miles or 3 miles or whatever it may be, and a lot of times your body screams like, I can't do this, I can't go any farther. And I know that for years I had mentally imposed, well, you could say physically too, because my knees would get all sore and my mind would just shut down after running about 8 miles. And this was when I was in super good shape. I was in my mid-20s. So for me, both of these things are a really great example of aligning myself with reality and not being constricted by the stories that my mind or my body are telling me. I mean, ultimately, the question is, who is running the show? Are my thoughts running the show? Is my body like controlling my life? Or is there something behind both of those, an energy force, if you will, that is, in my experience, more aligned with truth and more aligned with what's real? So I know it's a little bit of an esoteric, like, why do I do these things? So we can talk more about those later. But for starters, there's lots of different ways to cleanse, and there's lots of different ways to fast. Primarily, I do 3 types of fasts. One of them is a juice fast, where I drink nothing but juice. One of them is a lemonade fast, or a lemonade cleanse, that I have adopted from the Master Cleanse. It's a great way of cleansing the body. It cleanses the colon, it detoxifies the cells. That's number 2. And then lastly is a water fast, where you just drink simply water. So in this last one, when I did the 13 days, it was a hybrid. I did the first 4 days on juice, and then I did the next 3 days on lemonade, and then I did the next 3 days on just water. So for the first 10 days, I was kind of graduating into just being on water, and then I came off of it with 3 days of lemonade. So by day 12, when I went running, I was back on lemonade again, and the lemonade, you can see, I'll put a link here so that you can read all about the Master Cleanse, but basically it's a little mixture of pure organic lemon juice and pure maple syrup, like not the stuff that's full of sugar and corn syrup, but like from the tree maple syrup. It's rich with minerals, B vitamins, lots of calories, really good. So on any given day, I'm drinking somewhere in the range of 700 to 1,000 calories of the maple syrup. And I know, for example, when I went on that run, that 12-mile run, or that 15-mile run, I had about 600 calories in my pack. So as far as the caloric intake, it's not a problem at all. In fact, I did a triathlon clinic with Mark Allen, who won the Ironman World Championship like 6 years in a row, and he taught me something I really, really liked. That made a lot of sense to me. He said, in the human body, for most of us at any given time, we have enough calories, we have enough energy stores that we're walking around with on a daily basis to run 400 miles. So one of the first things that people ask me when I say, oh, I run while I'm cleansing is, well, how do you get the energy? Or, don't you bonk, or don't you like get lightheaded? And the answer is no, not at all. Because in my body and in your body, there's plenty of stores. There's stores of fat, stores of there are some muscle stores, but primarily I don't see myself burning muscle at all. You have the ability to just get out there and you have more than enough energy that you need. So again, it comes back to, look, where does the messages to the body really come from? Does it come from the body, or does it come from the mind? And in my experience, it comes from the mind. So on last week's run, I ran for 15 miles, and actually the hardest part of the run was the first mile and a half, where my body, or my mind, probably like most people's, is like screaming. It's like, dude, what are you doing? I've never ran that far, by the way, in a cleanse. Normally I run 10 miles on day 10. So to set out and do 15 on day 12, I was like, wow, even I was like, oh, I wonder if I'm going to be able to do this. For that first mile and a half, my body and my mind are just going like, what are you doing? You're a freak. And then by 2, 3, 4 miles into it, I'm feeling fabulous. And then I ran it out by, 13 or 14. I was getting a little tired, but that's to be expected. So more information on this later, but the bottom line is that for me, I look for places in my life where potentially my reality is being clouded by stories of the past, whether they're physical stories or mental stories. And I know that if I'm living out of stories that are not factually true, that are not actually the deal, then that prohibits me. I don't feel good about that. So I wouldn't encourage anyone to run 15 miles or to do long distance cleansing or fasting or whatever that is. What I would encourage anyone to do is to look for areas in your life where you have limitations, and then check in with them. See if that's really the case, or see if maybe that's some mental programming or some stories that you're holding on to that just simply aren't true for you. So more on cleansing, more on running. I'm just getting into trail running. I just got done with a 35-kilometer run, so I added 10K to last week, 20 miles. I feel awesome. This is super fun. Again, it's just awesome to experiment. I think that would be the best way with what's really true for you, and then what are beliefs that are just not helping you, not serving you. So have fun with that. Post any questions, and I love that you're on the side. I love that you're listening to this video. Thanks, it's Eric. Bye-bye.